Welcome to our channel, where we update the most dramatic developments, unexpected twists in the world of intrigue and emotion of the young and the restless. Today, we will take you on a dark journey, where a sophisticated conspiracy is set up, and a seemingly strong person falls into his own abyss. The story will take your breath away, when Victor, the most powerful man in Genoa City, secretly manipulates Jack into darkness, not by direct attack, but by the weakness that Jack thought he had buried for a long time: painkillers. After a seemingly minor accident during a short business trip with Diane, Jack is hospitalized for treatment of a spinal injury. Initially, the condition was not too serious, but the constant pain caused the doctors to prescribe controlled painkillers. Jack, who had a history of drug addiction after a major life event, vowed never to fall into that pit again. But the long sleepless nights, the sharp pain that felt like hundreds of knives were being stabbed into his spine, combined with the pressure of his job at Jabot, gradually made that vow disappear. No one in the family knew that Jack had started to ask for more drugs than prescribed. He appeared normal in front of Diane, still maintained his dignity and maturity in front of Kyle, but inside was a fierce battle that he was losing every day. And what no one expected was that in the dark, someone was quietly watching that slide, and it was none other than Victor. Victor didn't simply discover Jack's relapse. He had arranged it all. A source in the hospital, a former nurse who owed Victor money, and a few orders that had been shipped without a trace. Under the guise of goodwill, Victor approached Jack, posing as a rehabilitation consultant, offering alternative solutions to his pain, in fact, increasingly powerful pills. Victor was not acting out of pure personal vendetta. He had a comprehensive plan to take over Jabot. Knowing that without an open war, if Jack simply lost himself, the rest would fall like dominoes. As Jack became dependent on the drugs, his leadership abilities would decline, decisions would become chaotic, shareholders would waver, and the board would begin to doubt him. Victor simply stood aside, giving him a gentle push at the right time. Everything went according to plan. Jack began to miss important meetings, sign financial documents incorrectly, and even blew up at Kyle in front of his staff over a minor detail. Diane began to worry but was afraid to confront him. She suspected but was not sure. Jack's loneliness grew, and each night he turned to the pill as his only lifeline in the ocean of despair. Meanwhile, Victor secretly met with a group of former Jabot shareholders who had grown uncomfortable with Jack's soft-spoken approach, to propose a more stable solution, which, of course, involved financial support from Newman Enterprises. Victor was in no hurry. He understood that to win, the most important thing was for his opponent to be unable to fight. Jack's downfall came more quickly than anyone expected. One morning, he arrived at work with bloodshot eyes, shaking, and collapsed in front of the conference room. The news spread like wildfire. The media began to dig in. Jabot's stock plummeted. Diane panicked. Kyle felt betrayed. Tracy shed tears as she saw her brother no longer herself. It was then that Victor played his final card, an extraordinary meeting to propose a restructuring of Jabot, in which Newman would contribute capital in exchange for strategic control. A move perfectly disguised as a rescue. While everyone was still arguing, Jack lay in his hospital bed, helplessly watching the empire his father had built slip away. But what Victor didn't expect was the strength that remained in Jack, not from drugs, but from humiliation. In a rare moment of clarity, Jack understood the whole game. He remembered every pill that had been delivered, every familiar face he had overlooked, and they all led back to the same person, Victor. Anger flared up like a raging fire. No more fear, no more pain, just an iron will, to fight to reclaim himself and what was his. Jack quietly entered a voluntary rehab facility, far from any prying eyes. Diane, heartbroken, stays by his side. Kyle, after a period of resentment, begins to see the strong father figure of the past returning. Meanwhile, Victor, thinking he has one, begins to take his next steps, but does not know that the rage he has sown is about to blossom. When Jack returned, he did not make a fuss, did not call the press, and showed up on the day the board voted on Victor's proposal. In a short speech, there was no pleading, just facts. Jack admitted his mistake, but also exposed the conspiracy behind it. Some evidence was presented: fake invoices, anonymous witnesses, and documents linking to a Newman-backed shell company. The room was silent. Shareholders no longer saw Victor as a savior, but as a manipulator. The vote ended in Jack's favor. Jabot was left intact. But most importantly, Jack regained confidence, not just in the people, but in himself. Victor left the boardroom, his face as cold as ice. He had not lost, just not won. But this time, he knew his opponent was back, stronger than ever, and no longer an easy prey. The story is not over yet. This is just the first chapter in a long war between two irreconcilable forces. When the darkness is exposed, it does not mean it disappears. It just retreats, biding its time. And in the world of Genoa City, no one is truly safe, no one truly wins, only the resilient survive until the end. Don't miss the next developments full of surprises, pain, and hope. Stay tuned and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any moment of this stormy journey. See you in the next stories, where the truth is always hidden under the most beautiful masks.